Hi, everyone, and welcome to the More Weekly, the channel where we bring you the latest news around Alhambra High. I'm your co-anchor, Sabrina.
And I'm your co-anchor, Mansha.
The AUSD board has announced its new plan for high school athletics to resume in person while also maintaining safety measures to limit the contact between students. Our sports editors Sinu and Sophia have recently published an article detailing those guidelines on our website, themorenewspaper.com. And here's Sinu with more on what to look forward to.
Hi everyone, this is Sinyu, the sports editor from the More Weekly, and today I'll be giving us all a little update on Alhambra sports. As we all know, the AUSD School Board released a letter on March 5th announcing the return of sports within the district, and there will be indoor and outdoor practices on campus for all sports with the exception of competitive cheer, water polo, and girls volleyball because of COVID complications. There are already game schedules available to check for on the school website hsmores.org, and you can see them on the athletics page. For anybody who's an athlete and wants to participate in this year's sports season, I highly recommend all of you to go fill out your physical clearance form, proof of insurance, and COVID-19 waiver online, like as soon as possible. Also, in addition to that, locker rooms will also no longer be in use, so please come to practices already dressed and change when you get home. And strict guidelines from the district also said there will be no lingering on school grounds before or after practice, so everybody could be safe. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoys this unexpected sports season and have fun.
Thank you, Sinyu.
In other news, the Stop AAPI Hate Coalition has recorded more than 3,700 self-reported hate incidents against the AAPI community. These include verbal harassment such as the use of racial slurs, physical assault, being barred from an establishment or denied service, and other forms of discrimination. In fact, on March 16th, 6 Asian women were killed in a racially motivated massacre on 3 Asian spas.
Our reporter Sabrina meets with 2 students to get their thoughts on the surge in the number of incidents.
Hi everyone, my name is Sabrina and I'm part of the staff at the More Weekly, and I'm here today to discuss with some Alhambra students about the recent rise in anti-Asian hate incidents. Can you please introduce yourselves?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Luck. I am Chinese American. My parents are also Chinese, but they were born in Vietnam.
And hello, my name is Alan. I am a Filipino American.
What are your general thoughts on the recent rise?
It's very disheartening to see personally because I'm Chinese American and I'm more prone to being hate crime, verbally abused, physically assaulted. Though I have not personally experienced that, I did hear it from other people, and I couldn't imagine how the victims might feel. And my grandma lives with me, and I'm just very scared for her because she's vulnerable to being physically assaulted or verbally harassed because she's an elder, and not just also elders, also my mom. And looking online with the recent surge of Asian women being killed in the mass shooting that happened recently, it is very scary to me, and it hits home.
Generally speaking about racism in general, I think it should be something that should be looked down upon instead of like something cheered for, as it is for some places. But like it is genuinely really like sad to see like people who may look like me be attacked on the street, or like one of my like close friends or family members be verbally abused or attacked, or even allowed into like a restaurant, like you said.
That it is absolutely infuriating and also very sad and abhorrent and disgusting to see these things happen to our community.
Something the school could do is really implement ethnic studies, in which I believe it is being incorporated next year. Something that history classes don't really touch upon. Just very little aspects of it, but not that much. and to create safe spaces, maybe create like clubs for each minority group, or have the kids or the students, create their own and promote solidarity is.
Much for participating and sharing your stories and advice.
Thank you, Sabrina. On March 19th, ASB advisor and English teacher Mr. Collins became a quarterfinalist for the Favorite Chef competition hosted by celebrity chef Edney Matney. Here is Mr. Collins making spaghetti carbonara, an Italian pasta dish.
Hi guys, so Mr. Collins here, and the newspaper has asked me to make a dish. And today I'm going to make spaghetti carbonara, except I'm not using spaghetti, I'm using peachy pasta. Now this is only 5 ingredients and it's really simple and it's fun for brunch. Right here I've got some guanciale. Now if you can't find guanciale at your local Italian deli, you can just use bacon or you can use pancetta. I'm using pecorino and Romano cheeses, which I just freshly grated, and black pepper, which I've just crushed, and I've got 4 eggs here, actually 3 egg yolks and 1 egg. And right now I'm going to salt my pasta water. That's the only salting I'm going to be doing today because the cheese is salty and the pancetta or the guanciale is salty too. So I'm going to put my pasta in the water, and this is going to take, this kind of pasta will take 22 minutes, so it's a long one, okay? And this pasta actually originates in Siena, Italy, and it's kind of like spaghetti, but peachy, I just chose it because, well, it's nice and fancy and I'm bad and bougie. So now I'm going to cut my guanciale, and it kind of looks a little bit like bacon, but again, it's from the cheek, the jowl of the pig. And I'm just going to cube it really simply. So like this, break it down, slice it, and then cut it into cubes. And it really is as simple as that. And this one is already seasoned with a little bit of pepper, so I want to go easy on it. But you can see this beautiful fat. This fat's going to render down. It'll be gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to take my guanciale and I'm going to put it on a pan. And you can hear it sizzle a little bit, but I don't want it to sizzle too much, so I'm going to turn down the heat. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to let this slowly render out. Okay, so while my pancetta is rendering out on the pan nice and slowly, I'm going to put together my mixture. So like I said, 3 egg yolks and 1 egg, and I'm going to take some of my freshly ground pepper and put some into this. Now this has kind of been sitting at room temperature. I'm going to take a little sprinkle of the pecorino and a little sprinkle of the Romano. Now this is a pretty controversial dish because most people have arguments over, what to put in it. Like the English put peas in it. That's a no-no. The Italians are very protective of their dishes, and this is one of the ones that if you look up online, it's going to be very controversial, as I said. So we're just going to let this mixture come together and let it sit for a few more minutes at room temperature. So our pancetta, you can see it, it's completely rendered down. That's fat. I'm not going to use the fat in this dish, but you can see that it's getting nice and crispy. Okay, so again, monitor the heat. I'm going to take my pasta over. It's already cooked. I've tested it. Now, I don't want to throw my pasta water out. That's a mistake a lot of people make. So I'm just going to take my pasta, drain it, and I'm going to put it into this bowl. Okay, so my pasta is drained. I'm going to put some of the rendered bacon or guanciale into the pasta, and then I'm going to take some of my mixture of the cheese. Now the heat of the pasta is actually going to cook through the cheese or cook through the raw egg. So I'm going to take this now. I don't want to put it on direct heat because if I put it on direct heat, the eggs will scramble, okay? And this is where my pasta water is going to become very important. Okay, so as you can see, it's really thickened up quite lovely, and now it's plating time. Okay, so I've plated it now right out of the pan, so I'm gonna garnish it. First off, I'm gonna put some of the cheese on here, okay? And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the pepper, just to put it on there as well. Some olive oil, and don't be afraid to use the olive oil, okay? And then garnish it with more of the pancetta or the guanciale. Remember, you can use bacon too, and then just a little bit of vegetable, because my mom always said you have to eat 5 a day. And that is spaghetti carbonara.
That concludes our show for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram at More Weekly and stay tuned for more videos.
In the meantime, visit our website, themorenewspaper.com, to read our online editions.